Good evening. This is Ken Long from Tortoise Capital. It's October 25th, 2010. A quick review of the market message in the daily report. We're in bull quiet mode. That's good for the longs. We're at 63 on the annual scale and 74 on the 10-day look back. So you can see here we've pulled back just under the overbought condition. In the 10-day max pain, we're looking at Bank of America, JP Morgan. So if there is a significant move to overperform or underperform in the financials, I expect those two to really be the leaders. You can even see AXP, American Express, in the fifth position there. That's the third one in the financial sector. So we're going to be watching that one carefully. I will note that we'll see in a minute here that Alcoa, even though it's still on the max pain, was one of the percent leaders today, and so I like that kind of divergence in one of my trading favorites. So Alcoa will be on my short list for sure. I'm looking at Brazil and the gold miners in the ETFs among the max pains, and since those are both favored trading targets as well, I like that. KBE is the regional banks, so that gives us even more reason to take a look at the financials. No signals in the overreaction and the channeling, although I will note that our EEM trade from last week, the overreaction trade, should be closed tomorrow at a gain, and the channeling trades from last week, if you took those signals, should be closed here shortly, and those are both winning trades as well. I've identified the key price levels here for the pivot points. Notice how tightly packed those pivot points are based on the narrow range we had today. SPY volatility remains down right on the border between normal and quiet. It's been that way for a while. The trendiness in SPY is at just a little bit above 20 and green above red, so we have a slowly increasing positive trend. Lots of very good setups off the pattern trades for tomorrow. Washout patterns and Nucor in the New York Times. Nucor still especially looking good on that chart. So if I see movement in steel, SLX, or among the basic materials, Nucor will be on my short list. Great company, good trading stock. 5-day down patterns in BK and MS, Morgan Stanley. And so more interest in the tomorrow. Something's happening in the financials. There just has to be with that many signals. Lots of positives in the 551W setup as well. Nucor is in there. Another reason to be interested in it. VLO is a favored trading stock of mine. Valero Energy. Those are the ones that I really trade a lot. Nucor and VLO. Some triple screens that are reasonable, and that's page 1. Looking at page 2, you can see that JP Morgan and Bank of America are both max pains, and they were big losers yesterday. That might be just the washout that we need to see. Microsoft pulled back a little bit, as did Coca-Cola. And then the percent gains winners today, Alcoa, Disney, DuPont, and Kraft. Kraft has just been knocking it out of the park here lately in a kind of a quiet fashion. Financials were down, the big losing sector today, along with the utilities, and that's what I think in terms of overreaction kinds of trades or max pains. That's why I'm interested in them. Asia less Japan, silver and coal stand out. KOL was up big today, and Massey Energy was up big, one of my two favorite trading stocks right now, symbol MEE, so I'm going to continue to look for continuation patterns in that one tomorrow as well. On the Dow summary, I notice a triple screen setup in Verizon, a number of dojis to look for. I like a triple screen with a doji here. That gives us an opportunity to have a very small price range of uncertainty, that the breakouts are easier to see. Verizon is interesting because it's also one of the top 5 max pain range compressions, so that's a good thing. Under the ETFs, I see a triple screen setup in gold. I had a nice recovery after a sell-off last week. Plenty of dojis to look at as well. You can see the weakness right here in financials over the past anywhere from 1 day to 1 year time frame. And you can see the strength in silver and coal continues. The 30-day regression line, the R-squared statistic remains above 0.9, so you can just see how tightly bound that trend is, just consistently marching up the stairs. That slope still is sliding off from previous highs, even though it looks really good. It has been better recently and is still weakening. It's hard to maintain this this upward pattern that you see here. That's just tough to do. Nothing noteworthy in the Dow quality report. Although I guess I would be looking here at AXP being in the red, still in the red. That one. So I don't really believe in that one as a turnaround. For me, the financials are simply an intraday trade or a day one type technique. I don't have any long-term belief in them. But as a short-term trading vehicle, absolutely. What does stand out are the things that are in green in this 30 to 60-day quality divergence. Hewlett-Packard and Intel, those two techs are both in a position to continue to run. Cisco is also kind of in that boat, and those are things that are red on the 2-month quality score, and either white or green on the 1-month quality score. That's an indication of a turnaround that's hard to detect on a chart. Inside the ETFs, again, you can see the trouble in XLF. It's just been horrible, and that's why I don't have any long-term belief in them yet. However, when they get to that extreme of a condition, I'm always interested in them. Natural gas has just been so horrible that everything else looks good by comparison. On the intraday ranges, these are simply this is simply a table that I use to estimate what a reasonable intraday move might be for framing 2-to-1 trades. And you can see on the 5-day average holding period, the internationals actually have pulled back last week much more than the U.S. And so while they've been stronger, that might create some kind of buying opportunity. We saw EPP as the one today that had the most percent gains. EPP is the only thing that fired green today in this elder safe zone channeling. I like it for that reason. Of all the indexes, that's the one that had the greatest up move compared to its most recent performance. So EPP is one that bears watching. And nothing in our correlations of note. So that's today's daily trading plan. This is Ken Long from Tortoise Capital. Good hunting tomorrow.